I don't know if you make, authentic personal life New Year's resolutions, but let me ask you as a sports bettor, two-part question, I guess. Is there anything that you, Tony Farmer, will vow to do in 2024 to become a better sports bettor or more responsible or enhance your experience or anything like that? And the second part to that, is there anything out there for the folks at home, new bettors, veteran bettors, whatever, that they can do to become a better bettor or enhance their experience?
Yeah, I'd say for me personally, man, I really want to network more and network with other handicappers, with other sports bettors. It's something that I've started to dabble in a little bit on Twitter, and I'd say I've got like a good breadth of people, but not like a lot of depth. Like I don't have any really, really close friends in the industry that I can just pick up the phone at 11 o'clock at night and bounce an idea off of and stuff like that. And so that networking piece for me will be big. For other people, yeah, man, I think there's a couple really good ones. One, shop around, really get in the habit of shopping around. And if you're a bettor out there and you've only got one sports book that you use or one app that you use, I'd say that's a problem. One, because you want to make sure that you're getting the best number. Two, different books have different options, different kinds of bets that you can put in, oftentimes different bonuses and things like that as well. And so you don't want to be just married to one book because you're not necessarily getting the best number. How about this one? Only bet NBA games last minute. And this is on my resolution list too, man. Like, come on. How many times have you put in an NBA bet and then there's a load management thing right before tip-off, and you wish you had that number, the line moves, there's all sorts of steam on it, and now you've got a bad number before the game. So that's happened to me one too many times, and it seems to be getting worse. This problem in the NBA is getting worse, so be careful with that one. This one is one that I've been preaching for years. Don't bet a game just to bet it. Just because you're bored and it's the only game on television and you happen to have Thursday night off and it's rare and you want to put your feet up, bet a game because of your conviction and because you have an edge, not just because you're bored. That's probably the biggest one out of all of them. And then lastly, track your bets. There's a bunch of software companies out there. I don't necessarily want to plug a particular one. There's a bunch of them, or even on a Excel spreadsheet. However you track your bets, make sure you're tracking your bets. I think if you do those things, on a regular basis, I think you're going to be starting 2024 off in a better place than you were 2023.
So I feel a whole lot better about two of mine. My two that I had, I need to be diligent about shopping around for the best line. I'm one of those dudes that does have, 2024, I think our sound effects budget has gone through the roof. Already dropping some new sound effects. But I'm one of those dudes that has multiple accounts or multiple sports books, but I really only use one. I log in, in the afternoon or the early evening or whatever, and I make my bets. But I really need to be a bit more about, having funds across multiple books and looking for those best lines or looking for the best number. And then second one was tracking bets and being more diligent about keeping track of my own data. And a third one, I don't know if I'll get there this year, but one that people, and definitely people who are better at math than me, should be doing is potentially doing their own models when it comes to sports betting. I'm sure you're a dude that has his own model, but that's something that I'd like to get into. I don't know if 2024 is going to be the year, but definitely something on the radar for the future. Do you have a Tony Farmer sports betting model?
For NFL, I do. Yeah. It's kind of a bottom-up model that I use. And you're constantly tweaking this thing as the season goes on, like with unders this year, you had to really take that into consideration and tweak things as the game changes. So with the NFL that I do, it's really not an easy thing to do. It's one of those things that's easier said than done for sure. But yeah, it's a good thing to have a foundation to base your opinions off of. It's huge.
But something that requires work throughout the season and along the way.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
And you're constantly, this gets into the networking thing for me, why it's so valuable for me to network, to be able to pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, my model's off. I'm losing more money than usual in the NFL. What's going on?" "Oh yeah, me too." "Well, what I did is I tweaked this and it seems to, have worked out and now it's a little more accurate." Stuff like that.